Since my original post of the True Hero deck for Master Rule 5 back in January 2020, a lot of things have changed. Back then we had just a rough idea on how the Master Rule 5 format might look like. As time went on, there were some new things. You know, the usual stuff. A new meta, 2 new ban lists, bye bye Malicious number 3 by the way, and a new set, Rise of the Duelist. The set was the first main set I personally invested in, and yeah, it felt great to open some packs, like in the good old days, so I went ahead and opened some boxes.
Oh shit! Fuck! Geil, oh mein Gott, der Fokus ist blendet! Alter! Und holy shit! Alter! Die wollte ich! Der Preis ist mir sowas von egal, ich wollte die haben. Geil! Das Medical Knight und Crack. Ja, Starlight Rare. Richtig cool. Oh mein Gott. Gleich in die Sleeve auf jeden Fall.
I wanted to get a taste of the new released Forbidden Series card, Forbidden Droplet. A card so powerful that it quickly found a home in most of our decks. But this card wasn't the only new talent in the new awesome set. I'm referring to the other elephant in the room, Triple Tactics Talent. A card that has the ability to give you the taste of greed, the control of the board, or just some free insight and control over your opponent's hand. With those new 2 additions, the deck from way back feels more resilient, consistent, and overall more powerful. In today's video, I want to showcase you the newest version of the deck, in how many ways it improved, and what changes I made in order to accomplish a better version. I had a lot of things in mind while creating the deck. My goal was building a competitive hero deck, not from scratch, this is not too lonely, a competitive hero deck that could combine all of the sub-archetypes into a tier of a deck. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. To start things off, the search icon of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, Elemental Hero Stratos. We are maxing out on this one for consistency. With the additions of Shadow Mist and Liquid Soldier, we are able to dig a lot quicker into the deck to get more resources like a straight search to a missing hero monster, mask change cards, field presence of the normal summon of Liquid Soldier, or a small graceful charity-like effect. This combination gave me the best results in testing over the last few weeks. I cut the Solid Soldier completely. Why I hear you ask? Because his main effect is reliant on the normal summon. He can leave you in an awkward position once he is stopped, and to gain the full value out of him, you need an appropriate hero target in the hand, or you need a spell card to get him quickly from the field to the graveyard. So take Liquid Soldier on the other hand. His main effect, drawing 2 and discarding a card, triggers once he is used as a fusion material for a hero monster, by being sent to the graveyard or being banished instead. Which means we can get an additional use if we haven't activated his first effect in the turn. So when he gets normal summoned, we have the graveyard as a larger card pool to select from, and not just the hand we comboed off with. He has the attribute Water, which will come into clutch once we have another fusion card. More on that later. The idea behind the Vision Hero package, consisting of Vision Hero Ferris, Vion and Increase, is that we want more accessibility and consistency in our combo plays. The single copy of Evil Hero Adjusted Gold can decide games on its own. With him being an evil hero, he already paid for the first fusion material half, listed on Malicious Bane, which is just insane. Speaking of Malicious, since the OG Destiny Hero Malicious is semi-limited now, we are playing just 2 copies. Otherwise he will clearly be at 3 in the deck. On top of that, the one, the only, Elemental Hero Honest Meals.
But wait! There's more!
In normal hero decks, the monster count would be over at this point. But we are going one step further. We are integrating the Neos engine. This engine consists of 9 cards, being 2 Elemental Hero Neos, 1 Neospatian Grand Mole and 1 Neospatian Dark Panther, 1 Rainbow Dragon, 2 copies of Neos Fusion and 2 copies of Miracle Contact. Fun fact, out of those 9 mentioned cards, 8 of them are searchable. Polymerization or Yugo Miracle Fusion and Dark Calling are listed under the searchable card pool as well. Same with Mask Change. More deck thinners are Reinforcement of the Army, A Hero Lives, Foolish Burial, and Emergency Call. And with the 11 disruption cards being Forbidden Droplet, Triple Tactics Talent, Cosmic Cyclone, and a new addition of the deck, Harpy's Feather Duster! Welcome back to the pile! And lastly, Infinite Impermanence. With that, we are well equipped facing against any opponent. The extra deck space is quite tight, so therefore we are just running more single powerhouses, I guess. Vision Hero Trinity, Evil Hero Malicious Bane, Rainbow Neos, Elemental Hero Nebula Neos, Brave Neos, Sunrise, and Absolute Zero. Masked Hero Acid, Blast, and Darklaw. Extra Hero Dread Decimator, Wonder Driver, Cross Crusader, and Infernal Devicer. For the side deck, I'm very open-minded to changes. This one worked out pretty good, but I'm interested in testing out new variations. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comment section down below. It's not the final form, but I'm quite happy on how it turned out. 2 Twin Twisters, which means more back row hate removal, the final Cosmic Cyclone, and the last Triple Tactics Talent. And the newly limited Called by the Grave. Gosh, this hit felt kinda strange. I personally like to play Triple Tactic Talents over Called by the Grave in the main deck. Both cards have their advantages and disadvantages and possibly different ceilings. Called is a quick play and can interrupt plays by banishing monsters in the graveyard. The pros is you don't have to worry about the card effect of the removed monster for another turn. On the negative side, you have, it only targets monsters in the opponent's graveyard. So you can't target, for example, a Gamma. Tactics, on the other hand, lets the interruption happen, but you have the power to decide one of 3 brutal effects. With that being said, I feel like Tactics can be slower due to being a normal spell and more riskful, and has a greater activation requirement. The effect needs to happen first, but the possible payoff can be so much more impactful. And if you combine that fact with nowadays meta, in which almost any deck can play and will play on the other turn, the activation requirement doesn't seem that far off now. Next in the side deck, I'm playing some neat Floodgates, Royal Decree, and Summon Limit. With the Divine Solemn Judgment and the one-off Red Reboot. The side deck is done. So that's my list. What do you think about it? This is definitely my favorite version of the deck so far. It always has the element of surprise built into it, and therefore it feels so much more than just a normal rogue deck. By playing 50 cards in the main deck, we have way more searching and drawing going on in a regular duel than usual. With the high amount of deck thinners, we have a greater chance of drawing into them, thus reducing the likelihood of drawing into a brick. That makes it really good in my opinion. The deck punishes you for running bricks in the main deck. The bricks enable further power plays, and the chance of you drawing into them is quite low. Perfectly balanced.
As all things should be.
Siding might be more difficult though, due to having more cards than usual in the main deck, which can result in a hand with no hand traps or an out to a negation heavy field at all. But who isn't up for a challenge, am I right? Not only can a deck go first or second into a match, but if you lost the first duel, victory will be very likely in the following one. This special variant can reduce the cost for Forbidden Droplet tremendously. Almost any card here is at least a +1 or can use the graveyard as another resource. The option to fall back on resources that have already been used up is, in my opinion, quite unique. Not a lot of decks can do recycling to this extent. I'm now ready to crush some remote locals, I guess. See you guys next time. Adios.
Three of them things?